Good afternoon, my name is Lord Pete, and I'm going to be talking to you today about maintaining a healthy work-life balance in China, when you're working in China. There is no healthy work-life balance in China, and that's the end of the podcast. No, seriously, they don't think in those terms. When they go to work for a corporation or job, many jobs in China are a job for life. Okay, particularly with schools, and so the loyalty, they just devote themselves to it, they throw themselves into it. And you will find that Western staff tend to expect to go home at about 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m., but the local staff are going to be working through the evening. So what do? If you want to advance yourself, how can you advance yourself knowing that they are still completely ensconced in this mindset that in the staff car park, that car that's there all the time, the worker, the guy who is there in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, he is going to get the promotion, and he does get the promotion. I don't know anybody in China who has really advanced himself, who has done so without being prepared to work through the evenings. You don't want to have to work every evening and through the weekend and so on. So what can you do? Okay, there are a few steps that you can take. Number one, okay, start having meal times at the same time as the locals do. So when I was in the West, I would typically have a late breakfast, say 10 a.m. Then I would have lunch 1:30, maybe 2, and dinner would always be about 8 p.m., sometimes later. Now in China, I have breakfast at 7:30 with all of the staff. I have what you would consider to be an early lunch, 11:30 a.m. Then I will have dinner at about 4:30, 5 p.m., always done by 5:30 p.m., and then go back into the workplace, okay? So then you're putting yourself, you're getting into their rhythms, okay? And they're seeing you at the meal times and everything, which is always good. You're not off by yourself having lunch by yourself and so on, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is there's a culture of having a sleep at lunchtime. So you have your lunch, 11:30, or done by 12, and then go into your apartment if you're living at the base or whatever, or they will have these little fold-out beds in the office. The lights go off and they all get their head down for a good 45 minutes or so. Do it. I thought they were completely nuts. When I first went there, I thought, who sleeps that long at lunchtime, you know? But they do, and you actually start to get quite into it. You start to enjoy it. Then you wake up 1:15, a bit of water on the face and everything, ready for the afternoon. If you do that, okay, you will start to feel a bit more energized in the afternoon, but no longer than 45 minutes. I love my lunchtime sleep, and even though I'm in Cambodia at the moment and working online and so on, I still always have my lunchtime sleep. Another thing that you can do is to always be available for the WeChat chats. Okay, now a lot of Western staff, what they do is they think, no, well, this is the evening, it's my time, it's not work time, and there'll be threads and posts and everything's going on with the staff, and they don't get involved. I always involve myself. You'll find in China many times in the workplace, Saturday evening, they all like having a good chat. Sunday evening, 9:30, 10 p.m., and they'll still be talking. Put yourself in those conversations, okay? You have to. If you do that, you're showing them that you have the same mentality, work going on there 24/7, even if it's not. Even if it's not. You come in and you say a few things and so on. You cannot have this mentality that 5 p.m. I go home and that's it. Switch off. I don't want to know. I've done it all in 8 hours, okay? And it's a good philosophy that we have in the West. It's a very good work ethic to really get it done during the day and then go home. You've got family time, you've got recreation and so on. And that's not, but they don't do that in China. They just don't do it. You've got to work those long hours. And what about the evenings? Okay, commit to working 2, 3 if you can manage it, okay? Tell them you're always going to be in the workplace Tuesday, Thursday evening. If you do that, that could well be enough. 3 if you can manage it. But if you do that, okay, if you can manage 2 or 3 evenings a week, they know that for Westerners, we don't have family there, we don't have, most of us, vast majority don't have a car there and so on, and we've got other things to do because it's not our hometown. So you get some leeway, but you're not going to get a lot of leeway, and you'll be considered a lightweight. I think it was my last job, perhaps the one before that, I had 12 months of absolutely just mad setting up this school. That year, I had 3 complete weekends off the whole year. So that's a Saturday and a Sunday. 3 times, okay? I worked every weekend, okay? And I was in there, say, about 3 or 4 evenings a week as well. And it was just, the way that it was after dinner. If I started packing up the office and getting ready to go home about 6 p.m., bearing in mind I'd been there since 7:30 in the morning, if I started going home at 6 p.m., I would get looks like, you know, where are you going, part-timer? And there were Western staff there who just wouldn't. They waive their contracts and say 38 hours a week, that's all I'm doing. And you can do that, it's in the contract, but you're not going to advance yourself if you do that. So you do want a good work-life balance, but it isn't really realistic to do it, especially in that first year. It's when you're building things, okay, that you just can't do it. You've just got to completely throw yourself into it. And if you can do that, then you will be fine.